When it comes to Earth's landscape, one thing is undeniable. Caves are awesome. It's impossible to look at a cave and not wonder what's inside, even if the answer is usually rocks and possibly bears, because there's something about these things that just captivate the imagination. There's a good reason for that too. Incredible, shocking things have been discovered in caves. You wouldn't believe some of the things that have been found in the mysterious depths of caves. From baby dragon, which was thought to be a fantasy, to the secret Bible that was hidden by the church. Make sure you stick around until the end. You do not want to miss out on an entirely new species of ancient humans, the Homo Naledi. Here are 15 most shocking things found inside caves. Number 15. Cave of Horror. There is a cave of mystery, hiding the secrets of the past and artifacts of yore. It is in a great desert, deep underground, and contains sights the likes of which the world has never seen. And also lots of little bits of one particular, really old scroll thing. And this cave is not fiction. It exists in the Judean desert west of the Dead Sea in modern-day Israel. In fact, there are several caves. Archaeologists discovered the famed Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947 in this cave, which is extremely arid, hot, and good for preserving parchments and other items. The Dead Sea Scrolls date from around 200 BCE, but this cave has been used for storage since 10,500 BCE. We're talking about a 10-millennium-old basket, a 6-millennium-old mummified skeleton, and a plethora of coins, parchments, and other treasures spread across a wide range of caves, valleys, and hollowed-out mountain recesses. None of these things are particularly frightening. However, a series of 1960s discoveries led researchers to rename this cave as Cave of Horrors. Unlike the others, this cave housed 40 skeletons. To be fair, skeletons are fairly common, and perhaps not gruesome enough to merit the title Cave of Horrors. After all, there have been many people who have lived and died. If you go far enough back in time, you might be sitting on the spot where some guy tripped and broke his neck 4,000 years ago. However, there is one crucial fact about the skeletons in the Cave of Horrors that adds to the horror. The people were hiding when they died. Number 14. Turtle Tomb. Captain Jacques-Yves Cousteau and his team spirited the island of Sipadan off the coast of Borneo in the early 1980s to film a documentary about its crystalline waters. One of the film's highlights was a mysterious underwater cave where they discovered many sea turtle bones and skeletons. Cousteau speculated, for lack of a better explanation, that perhaps old sea turtles went there to die peacefully. In reality, the turtles enter the cave system by accident and get lost in the maze of tunnels. They become disoriented and drown as they are unable to find an exit. The Turtle Cave entrance is on the side of a large limestone wall that starts a few meters below the surface and descends straight down to a depth of about 600 meters. The cave's mouth is located at a depth of 20 meters below the surface. A large sign near the entrance warns inexperienced divers not to enter unless they have the necessary equipment and experience. The cave's interior is a complex maze of chambers and corridors. The cave chamber's floors are covered in fine white sand, which contains the bony remains of long-dead turtles. Turtles aren't the only air-breathing creatures that have perished in the cave. An intact dolphin skeleton can be found in another corner of the cave. You should go diving there if you are a diver, and also know an experienced local guide who is familiar with the cave. Number 13. Secret Hidden Bible. The story of the secret hidden Bible begins in 1945 when a shepherd discovered a collection of 13 papyrus books in a cave near Nag Hammadi at Jabal al-Tarif. Papyrus books from the cave reached scholarly hands over the next few years. When investigated by experts, the significance and antiquity of the discovery became clear. For starters, among these books was a reasonably well-preserved Bible manuscript that the church attempted to conceal. It was soon discovered that the buried manuscripts date from the 3rd and 4th centuries. The Gnostic Gospels is the name given to these mysterious, discovered manuscripts. The Gnostic Gospels are 13 papyrus books that contain hidden Gospels, poems, and stories that attribute to Jesus' sayings and views that differ significantly from those found in the New Testament.
And on the east side of that boulder.
Because of their controversial portrayal of Jesus, the Gnostic Gospels were omitted from the Bible. The Gnostics were early Christians whose beliefs and practices were totally opposite to mainstream Christianity. In fact, after the 2nd century, Orthodox Christian church authorities made a concerted effort to destroy Gnostic works, believing the Gnostics to be sinners. The primary point of contention between Orthodox Christians and Gnostics was not necessarily theological, but rather the Gnostics' rejection of the church's institutional hierarchy and power. The Orthodox Church was able to defeat Gnosticism and destroy the Gnostic Bible due to its hierarchical structure and widespread acceptance. According to evidence, the manuscript has been hidden since the 2nd century, when it was illegal to own unorthodox literature and Orthodox authorities burned any copies they discovered. However, its recent discovery in a cave is altering our understanding of the early Christians, their church, and their beliefs. Number 12. Oldest painting in the world. Near Maasai, in the limestone hills surrounding the Calanque Margiu, you'll find the Consquer Cave. The Mediterranean grew after the Ice Age. The cave's entrance is now about 120 feet below the surface. Henry Consquer, a deep-sea diver, first discovered it in 1985. He later returned and found numerous hand stencils, pictographs, and rock art on the cave's walls. The oldest artwork and paintings in the world are found in the Consquer Cave, which also houses a special collection of prehistoric art. It was used by Stone Age artists during the early Gravettian art period and is now only accessible through an underwater tunnel with an entrance that is about 40 meters below the surface of the water.
Although the only entrance to the newly discovered cave is 120 feet underwater.
This is because the sea levels were 120 meters lower than they are today when it was first painted, 120 meters below present sea levels during the last Ice Age glaciation around 25,000 BCE. About 3/4 of the cave painting was destroyed as a result. The two main stages of the creation of Consquer's cave art have been identified by scientists. The Gravettian is when the earliest artworks were created, including hand stencils, hand prints, and some animal engravings. The remainder of the animal engravings and paintings were created during the Solutrean art period, which began around 19,000 BCE. The world's oldest Stone Age artwork can be found in Consquer. Sadly, the cave is in imminent danger due to sea level rise, and it's only a matter of time before it disappears. 4/5 of it is already underwater. Number 11. The Mammoth Cave Mystery. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky might not be on your radar, but because of its endless mysteries, it ranks number 11 in our video. Since prehistoric times, people have been living in and crawling through the cave. According to anthropologists, Native Americans found the Great Cave for the first time around 4,000 years ago. They made torches out of bundles of cane, similar to that which still grows nearby to light their way through the intense underground darkness. Miles inside the cave and chambers lined with countless numbers of gypsum crystals in a wide variety of shapes. Charred remains of these ancient torches have been discovered. It appears that the first splunkers placed a high value on these crystals. The cave also contains relics of clothing and abandoned sandals, as well as centuries-old footprints. The mummified body of a gypsum miner who passed away about 2,000 years ago has been found 3 miles from the cave entrance. He was killed by a 5-ton boulder that fell on him. Both the man's body and his attire have been preserved perfectly. People have been in admiration of the geology of this enormous cave for thousands of years. Have you been to this cave before, or do you intend to go? Share your experience in the comment section below. Number 10. Deep Skull of Guinea. The oldest anatomically modern human found in the world is the deep skull from NIAH Cave in Sarawak. Deep skull was discovered in the evocatively named Hell Trench of the vast west mouth of NIAH Cave in Sarawak. This trench received its name as a result of the extreme heat that the excavators had to endure there in the late afternoon sun. The remarkable network of caves is known as NIAH Cave, which is located in northern Borneo and is built out of old limestone. Radiocarbon dating was used immediately after its discovery to estimate its age, and its age was determined to be 40,000 years old. The 33,000-year-old Cro-Magnon man was the earliest dated example of a fully modern human at the time.
Burial features that made it to Nevada. So what we needed to do was make sure that each of the burials were
Two important theories about human evolution were founded on that fossil. First, that Homo sapiens had evolved in Europe, and second, that the fully developed species was descended directly from Neanderthals. However, the 40,000-year-old deep skull from Nia was that of a 15 to 17-year-old adolescent, probably a girl and unquestionably a fully modern human. Not only was this older than the Cro-Magnon skull, it was older than some Neanderthal specimens. It looked as if there were modern humans in Southeast Asia when Europe was still populated by Neanderthals. Number 9. The monster's ecosystem. An international team of scientists discovered a new species of endemic troglobiont centipede in the Romanian cave Movil, a unique underground ecosystem where the oxygen in the air may be half of what we're used to, but the sulfurous content is everywhere. Here, animal life only exists because of chemosynthetic bacteria feeding on carbon dioxide and methane. Due to the extremely high sulfurous content of this cave, simply breathing there could be fatal for the majority of us. Despite the high levels of sulfur, this cave is home to insects and animals that are unique to this ecosystem and cannot be found elsewhere on the planet. Since its unexpected discovery in 1986 by Romanian workers looking for potential sites for a power plant in the southeast of the country, the Movil cave has attracted the interest of scientists. The cave was already cut off from the outside world several million years ago during the Neogene. Surprisingly, despite its challenging habitat, it was soon discovered that the Movil ecosystem was home to a unique and diverse fauna, distinguished by exceptional species endemism and particular trophic links. The troglobiont water scorpion, liocranid, and nesticid spiders, cave leeches, and undoubtedly a great number of other creatures are still to be found in the cave. Number 8. Lost Beer Cave. History buffs in St. Louis can now raise a glass in honor of a rediscovered 19th century beer cave. The underground beer cave, which is connected to a brewery with a colorful history, was discovered by chance. Underground beer caves were built more than 150 years ago to keep beer cool. This buried beer room has been lost for decades, even though some locals had heard about it. A geological team drilling down from above discovered the Lost Cave about 50 feet below the surface of the English Cave Community Garden in the Benton Park neighborhood. The cave is S-shaped for unknown reasons. It is approximately 350 feet long and 25 to 35 feet wide. In the 1840s, brewer Ezra English used it as an underground beer garden and entertainment complex, and over the years, the cave was used for storing beer and wine, mushroom farming, and even bowling. The cave was last used in 1919, after which time the entrance was sealed and eventually lost. Exploration of the cave is underway, with one possibility being to connect the underground space to the existing garden and possibly allow easy access from the surface. Number 7. Ice Age Witchcraft. Hell's Entrance may have been found, and it appears to be near the border of Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire. It reminds us of one of those scary movies where they enter a room, cast a light around it, and see a demonic symbol on the wall. But when they cast a light further around, the entire room is covered in them.
They're protective marks, so right now you could say you're standing in one of the safest places.
The Cresswell Crags Cave's chamber has a diameter of about 12 feet, and there was a band of witch marks running along the wall that was 2 or 3 feet thick, with barely any room between them. The marks, which were previously mistaken for graffiti, are actually the creation of the historic residents, who once thought the dark, deep opening served as a portal to the underworld. The etchings appeared to be an effort to prevent witches, devils, and other evil inhabitants from escaping the building. Old churches and homes are where witches' marks are most frequently discovered, frequently close to windows, doorways, and fireplaces to ward off evil spirits. This discovery is significant for the entire world as well for the country because Cresswell Crags has roughly 1,000 witch marks carved into the rock. Their origin is unknown, and it's still not clear where they all date from despite years of research. It is believed that they may date from the 14th century all the way up to the 18th century. Number 6. Empire of Death. More than 200 miles of caves lie just beneath the City of Lights, some of which are lined to the ceiling with skull and bones. Below Paris's city streets, there is an Empire of Death waiting for tourists. As Paris developed into a significant hub for Europe, it eventually encountered a significant issue. By the 17th century, so many people had lived and passed away there that the city's cemeteries were overflowing, overstuffed with graves to the point where occasionally bodies were exposed. So it was decided to put them in the prehistoric tunnels that have been beneath Paris's streets since the 13th century, which are left over from the era when limestone quarries were mined to create the thriving city of Paris. By the time these structures were complete, the catacombs of Paris became the final resting place for the remains of 6 million Parisians. The Paris catacombs are now open to visitors, but they are not for the faint of heart. It is the world's largest grave with millions of souls. Before we go on, do like this video, smash that subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. It's time for today's subscriber pick. While digging was being done in El Paso, researchers came across a cave's dead end, but surprisingly, it wasn't any rock. They experienced a metallic feeling, and that is precisely the moment that this picture was taken. It appears to be a UFO, and if it's not a UFO, it's definitely something extraterrestrial. However, the excavation work was stopped, and the perimeter was sealed shortly after the discovery. Why is this discovery being withheld from the public by the government? A UFO? Is that what it is? Remember to comment down below with #subscriberpick and let us know what you think of it and why the area is still sealed from the general public. Now, on to the next topic. Number 5. The baby dragon. In the Post-Joina cave, you can actually see the real house of dragons. Pale, nearly transparent skin, odd red tufts, no sign of eyes, 4 limbs, and only 10 fingers. You might be wondering what these creatures are. They might be the young dragons. Despite having the appearance and sound of imaginary creatures from a kid's book, Ohms are actually tiny amphibians that live in caves, more specifically aquatic salamanders, and are extremely rare. Ohms are unique to the caves of Southeast Europe, and because of their peculiar characteristics, scientists describe them as mystical. The inhabitants of the karst were accustomed to being surrounded by caves, shafts, sporadic rivers, lakes, and peculiar springs that would erupt from the ground during times of intense rain or floods. So it was unusual when the strong currents brought some unusual fish with snow-white skin, a long body, a long tail, and 4 legs to the surface. The locals believed that these creatures were actually young dragons and that a terrible dragon was living in Post-Joina cave. These so-called baby dragons only reach lengths of 30 centimeters and breathe through external gills. However, they have a lifespan of up to 100 years, can go up to 12 years without eating, and can even grow new limbs. They are also blind, so they detect their prey by using sensitive organs in their heads. Number 4. Secret Freemason's hideout. The Masonic Lodge of Burns owns the mysterious lava tube cave known as Malheur Cave in Oregon, which is hidden away in the remote southeast corner of the Beaver State. Conspiracy theorists assert that this location is shrouded in mystery because the Masons have been holding yearly gatherings inside this cave for decades. Whether or not these legends are true, Malheur Cave is undoubtedly one of the spookiest locations in Beaver State. Malheur Cave is located in Burns, Oregon, about 17 miles east of Crystal Crane Hot Springs. The 3,000-foot Malheur Cave is a lava tube cave that has historically been used by local Native American tribes, early settlers, and other groups. Ulysses S. Hackney and Charles W. Logan, 2 members of the Robert Burns Masonic Lodge, had the idea to hold a Freemason meeting inside the Oregon Cave in 1938. Masons from all over the nation would assemble in the depths of this cave for their yearly Malheur Cave event for decades. The Oregon Freemason group met here for years while also keeping the cave clean and well-maintained. However, it goes without saying that a group holding secret meetings in an unsettling cave sparked rumors and hoaxes about the Masons as well as the cave itself. Native Americans thought that this cave served as a portal to the afterlife. Conspiracy theorists, however, go a step further and assert that devil worship and satanic rituals were practiced in Oregon's Malheur Cave. Some people even held the view that Malheur Cave was a part of a network of tunnels that ran beneath the entire country and connected to other caves owned by Freemasons. Number 3. Mexican giant crystals. In 2000, miners looking for new ore deposits in the vicinity of NIAH, Mexico, came across an amazing and unexpected sight. They were surrounded by enormous milky white crystals that filled a horseshoe-shaped cave. Gypsum beams that were nearly 12 meters long and 1 meter wide protruded from the brown limestone walls, floors, and ceiling in all directions, glistening brightly in the miners' lights. The 290-meter deep cave that earned the name Cave of Crystals is capped by a mountain that is abundant in lead, zinc, and silver.
It'll probably be about 12 minutes by the time we get out of here, so that's pushing it too far.
The subterranean chamber has drawn researchers from all over the world since it was discovered by the mining company Industrious Peoples, luring them in with both rare beauty and scientific mystery. Since the crystals were found, scientists have resisted the oppressive heat and humidity of the cave to seek answers about the crystal's formation and development. After nearly 2 decades, scientists have found the answers to many of these questions that are shifting their focus to figuring out how to safeguard and preserve the crystals for future generations. Roughly 26 million years ago, a mound of magma strained upward through the earth beneath southeastern Chihuahua, Mexico. Rising magma carved out of what is now a mountain near NIAH, forcing hot, mineral-rich waters into caverns and gaps in the mountain's limestone. The giant crystals of NIAH were born in these waters. Number 2. Cave of the Jaguar God. On Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, beneath the ancient Maya city of Chichen Itza, archaeologists looking for a sacred well stumbled upon a cache of more than 150 ritual objects that had been hidden for more than 1,000 years. These artifacts may hold information about the rise and fall of the ancient Maya and the famous Jaguar god, a Maya deity. Caves and sinkholes were regarded as portals to the underworld by the prehistoric Maya. These caves stand for some of the most revered Maya sites, which also had an impact on site design and social structure. The context was valuable information about the creation and demise of the historic City of the Water Wizards and the people who were its founders, because it was sealed for so long and for so many centuries. Incense holders, food and drink containers, and drinking vessels are among the objects that have been discovered so far. Many of these items feature the iconography of Tlaloc, the god of water and fertility, who is represented in various ways by the ancient Mesoamerican cultures. Number 1. New species of ancient humans. What could be more significant than the discovery of an entirely new human species? That is why this discovery is ranked first in our video. The city of Johannesburg in South Africa has always attracted researchers. It was designated a World Heritage Site in 1999, and it features the Sterkfontein limestone caves, famously known as the cradle of humankind, and is a true heaven for researchers. Nearly 1/3 of all hominid fossils discovered before 2010 came from just these caves. The discovery of a new ancient human species, however, has made the cradle of humankind famous today for something else altogether. In 2017, a particularly complex network of caverns revealed Homo Naledi, a previously unidentified human species. Although the remains of 15 hominids have been found, they have not yet been dated. They stand about 1.5 meters tall and have slim bodies. Homo Naledi has not been associated with any other animal remains or artifacts, and little is known about its ecology or way of life. Despite the unusually large number of specimens, it is still unclear how these individuals fit into the Homo genus. Well, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you believe we missed any shocking discoveries that should be covered in the next video, please share them with us in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as it helps us to understand the kinds of videos you like. That way we can tell what kind of topics you're looking to watch next. Tap that bell icon if you love to learn new things, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.